Welcome everyone. Today I have a special Dota auto chess guide to teach you guys how to go from knight to queen of the highest rank for Dota auto chess. So this is of course related to ranking games. This will also help you to have a better experience in playing any game because learning those methods will help you to win most of the games. So you can see in the previous video or the previous game, I was able to reach queen 1677. And of course, I'll show you guys the video and also the play of how I achieved this particular ranking. And yes, queen rank is the highest rank for Dota auto chess at the moment. And then it's a world ranking. The number behind it shows that I'm currently ranked around 1600 in the world. And this really depends on your scoring. So in order to make this a little straightforward and easier to understand, I've written a lot of notes to teach you guys about exactly what happens and what are the important things that will help you to go higher ranking. There's also additional things I want to share with you guys in the future, but this video should cover almost everything that's important about ranking up in Dota auto chess. So the first thing you want to notice with ranking in the game is that you started with a knight rank, then you go to bishop, then you go to rook, then you go to queen, then you go to king, then you go to queen. So the highest rank is going to be queen. Now, firstly, how do you find ranked games? So if you come over to Dota 2, so I was reading the patch notes, if you come over to Dota 2, you can easily come over here to select the ranked games. When you go for ranked games, this is usually when players are playing between knight to bishop. Once you get to bishop, it is recommended for you to search for bishop games. But what happens is, if you search for the rook games, often enough, no one is playing rook games. Dota 2 is out of date. So I update Dota 2, so no one is playing rook games. Now, what happens when no one plays rook games is that I discovered this a while back, that if you search for private lobby and pressing the certain code to search for those lobbies, notice that there are rook games and also king games with a steady population of players. So why do you want to use this method? Is that firstly, when you started with the normal rank games, you get to bishop, and then you start into the bishop games, you get to rook, and then for the rook games, the passcode is 5544. If you search the passcode in the arcane in the lobby list, and this will show you more games that are related to rook and also to king. This is quite important if you want to rank up, because if you play with lower rank players, you'll lose more ranking when you lose, and you gain less ranking when you win. So you always want to play with players of the similar rank. So this is why players play bishop only games, then they play rook only games, then they play king only games. And this is important for you to understand how to maximize your winnings to gain the highest ranking, and how to minimize your losses if you happen to lose. So after learning how to find ranked games, you definitely want to try this out. Sometimes people also host bishop games, but for bishop games, it's easier to just come over here and just searching for the bishop games. But most people don't search for rook games and king games over here because no one is available. Now, after that, one of the most important things of ranking up in auto chess at the moment, at least for me, is to learn and also practice 3 to 4 different builds. You might have seen with our YouTube channel, I have been steadily posting a number of different builds, and I do plan to cover all the related and also great build that is available. So when I say 3 to 4 builds, what are the builds I'm using? And you can see I have actually prepared a few builds to share with you guys. The build that helped me to get to rook, the build helped me to get to king, and also the build that helped me to get to queen. So the build should technically focus on the mid game, because once you get into the bishop and also rook games, you realize most builds don't make it to the late game. They are very aggressive and you'll die too fast. You want a build that can survive against other aggressive builds. And finally, you want to find a build that is less contested. So what do I mean by that? The units that is in the game is only limited, they are limited to number of players who are using those characters. So for example, if you find a Tidehunter, then there's one less Tidehunter for other players to find. And there's only 45 tier 1 units, I believe 30 tier 2 units, and the availability of number of units actually reduces when more players are playing the same build. So you want to find a less contested build, which I'll show you guys very soon. The firstly, I'm going to restart Dota 2, so this gets updated, and we keep going with the guide. So Dota is going to get updated. Now, what do I recommend to play, and for myself, what is the best build for me to rank up? So here are 3 of my default builds that I tend to go to. So I like to play the 4 Aqua build. You've seen the 3-star Alchemist guide video. It's in the links below or in the previous videos if you want to have a look. This build is amazing for top 3, and I can consistently get to top 3 most of the time, sometimes top 2, top 1. And most of the time this build doesn't lose too badly because no one really contests this build. The drawback is this build needs a tier 2 item, the spider legs. So on round 3, if I find spider legs, I'll go for this build, and the full guide is available for you guys. Now, second to that, sometimes I want to play something sneaky, sometimes I want to play something like non-meta. I'll go with the 4 Priest plus the Luna or any of the other build. I'll also share another build using 4 Priest and also 4 Gods, which is actually very powerful with a 3-star chain. So, the 4 Priest build requires the Witless Shackle. Again, this is a tier 2 item that I only play those 2 above build if I find those tier 2 items on round 3, and similar to what I said in the videos. So let's start Dota over here, let's keep going. Now, finally, one of the builds I'd like to play when I'm winning, which I'll explain to you guys in this video on the second part. So this is my King to Queen video, and in this video I actually started to play the 9 warriors as I taught you guys previously. So in order to play the 9 warriors, I preferably want to be on a winning streak. This helps me to level up with extra economy, and this helps me to rush into 9 warriors that counters a majority of the build. Most other builds tend to do physical damage, and most of the other build will be countered by warriors unless they're playing a very strong mage, unless they're playing pure damage like the goblins and also the the goblins and deities. Those will counter the warriors, but other than that, warriors counters most of the build, and it is very strong against aggressive build. It is also very stable, and there's less contesting if you know what you're doing, which I'll explain on the second part. So those are the 3 builds I like to go when I'm going with default. So if I'm winning, I go with warriors. If I want to do losing streak, of course priest plus the items, and similarly, if I get the spider legs, I'll go with aqua. Now, I mentioned about checking if anyone is contesting your build. You can easily use the hotkey F3 to see what are the units the players are using and what are their current gold, what the units they plan to play for. You can go to their corner of the map to see what units they keep on the bench. So once I realize no one is playing those particular builds, I will try to play one of those, and those are quite good. Usually they will take me to top 3, and most of the time, even if something bad happens, I'll be top 5 or top 4, and that's quite important. Now, because this is going to be a long video, I prepared some water as well. So, with 6 goblins and also 3-star rolling, we have had a video about 6 goblins and also 6 mechs. I want to share another video with 6 goblins and 6 deity, 4 Derny. And this is actually very powerful because it gives the goblins pure damage. So this is about hyper rolling, which I teach you guys in a focus guide. We have had a video with 3-star Lina, still very good, but you do want to check if other players are also rolling for 3-star mages, like 3-star Tiny, 3-star Ogre Magi. Sometimes they like to go with 3-star low-cost elementals like Morphling, and then they will roll for Razor, and then they will take your Linas and take your Crystal Maiden. You don't want to be too heavily contested if you're rolling for 3-star Lina. Now, 9 Assassins is a build I want to share with you guys very soon as well. 9 Assassins, you can roll for 3-star Assassins, or you can level up to level 9 for 9 Assassins. Very flexible. As for 9 Hunters, I like to go with the tier 2 item, the Sniper Scope, that turns as a range unit into a dwarf. So very highly recommended. If you plan to play with 9 Hunters, you need this tier 2 item for the higher damage in the mid game. Or before you get to 9 Hunters, you might start to lose out. And there's a unique way to play 9 Hunters, even without Tide Hunter. The 6 Knights and 6 Trolls. Yes, another guide will be coming on each of those video builds. Here I just want to share with you guys what's available. 6 Knights, 6 Trolls, you want to roll for a lot of 3 stars. At the same time, you want to get to level 9 for all the synergies using the Wizard. As for 9 Elves and also Marcy, this is a great build if you can find the right items for your 3-star Marcy. This build actually counters a lot of other builds and can be very powerful once you get to 9 Elves. Now, what are the other builds I like to go for? Sometimes it's quite RNG. The 5 dragons, I only do this one if I see a Jakiro in the available legendary pool. And then I can go with 9 mages, 6 humans, or even 4 gods. And the dragons are very strong because they cast instantly. We have had a very detailed video to teach you guys about 6 Shamans. Very powerful in the late game, but it's a little random. Sometimes you don't get that lucky with your Shamans. 6 Savages are very powerful. We have had a video to teach you guys with the Gyrocopter. You can do this with other characters as well, sometimes with Templar Assassin. Very good with 6 Savages if you plan the correct items. And finally, you can start fishing for pandas. Yes, very fun and also powerful build if you get the lucky fish tier 1 item and then give this to the panda. And this will give you much higher rate of finding more pandas, and this is very powerful and also very deadly. Now finally, there's a build including all the purple and also legendary units together with only void synergy, which I plan to share with you guys in the future. So this kind of lists out all the available build, but we'll go a little further. So what is the next thing you want to learn when you're playing the game? So is that you have to determine what are the streak you want to go for in the very early stage of the game. So what do I mean by that? So you always want to try to have a win streak or a losing streak. You don't want to be in the between, oscillating between win and lose, because you don't get the best gold and the best income for your passives. So if you're going with win streak, what I recommend is having a tier 2 item with Vanguard is essential. Very powerful item for almost any build in the early game before round 15. And then the Tranquil boots or the health regen boots, and then finally the armor for the buckler, the tier 1 items. This triplet combination makes 1 melee unit unkillable most of the time, especially with goblins. And in terms of relics, because you have so much health, you can go with a relic down below, and this easily gives you over 30 gold in exchange of HP. And you tend to have a lot of HP when you're playing win streak, which I'll show you guys in this video very soon or in the other videos. In terms of the other relics, I'm recommending the Certainty Loop, and that one protects you from losing your win streak or losing streak, and also gives you a bonus neutral item. You can wait until you're about to lose the round, then select the relic, and this allows you to keep the relic for 10 rounds starting from the round you selected it, which can be very good. Now, if you're playing a losing streak, and if you have seen a lot of videos I tend to play losing streak, always try to find 2 priests on the board. And then having 1 or 2 pandas is great. The lucky fish on the panda turns your panda calling rate from 12% to 15% because of the 25% bonus. Make sure you have 1 spot available on your bench so a panda can fall from the sky. Having 3 humans on the board when you're doing losing streak is also great. You get 2 extra experience, which is equal to 2 extra gold. Finally, having a fresh bounty hunter is also very underrated. So a fresh new bounty hunter, a 1-star bounty hunter, once it kills an enemy, will give you 1 gold. A 2-star bounty hunter that kills the enemy will give you 3 extra gold for killing the first enemy, which is very good for economy. Now in terms of the relics, when you're doing losing streak, the best relic is going to be the Malefic Rapture. This means once you lose HP, you will gain bonus experience. And this allows you to have power level to level 8 and so level 9 very easily. Some great item for economy is going to be Magic Seed. This just gives you free gold, but I'll not recommend it if you're rolling for 3-star units. So if you're rolling for your trolls, if you're rolling for your knights, if you're rolling for your hunters, if you're rolling for goblins or assassins, the magic seed will take too much bench space, and that is not good. Finally, for the relics, I'm recommending a Stolen Vault because you get 10 to 20 gold, which is great for any build. So if you don't see a great relic for your build, which I'll teach you guys a relic when we play the certain build, you can always go with Stolen Vault. Now, one thing I want to mention, the 2 times neutral monsters with the Wolf relic is not recommended unless you know what you're doing and your characters are strong enough. Because This can easily make the round very hard for round 15 and also round 40, which I'll show you guys in the video. Sometimes you'll actually lose a neutral round because you double the neutral monsters. You do get more gold for killing them, you also get better items, but it's extremely difficult, so keep that in mind. Half of the time I get a lot of gold, other half of the time I actually lose because of this particular item. Mango trade is very powerful if you know how to swap between win and also losses. Make sure you have a team that can win certain rounds, and then losing, it just means taking your strong units off the board, and this will allow you to lose easily. Now, there's a lot of things I also want to cover with you guys in each of the future videos, including how to reduce losses of HP in the mid game. I tend to start heavily invest my gold on round 21. Usually round 15, you want to have some units on the board after 15. After 21, this is when things get crazily aggressive. So you want to start spending your gold, don't stay on 40 gold after 21. In terms of itemization, some items are just much stronger than other items, which we'll talk about in each of the build. What are the build that counters other build? For example, that build that does physical damage will be countered by warriors and goblins with armor. Build that is fairly focused on physical damage will be countered by mages, and most of the build can be countered by silence and also disable. How to position your units. This one we'll talk about in each of the videos as we go. And then the various hotkeys like with F3 and other hotkeys you want to know so that you save some time as you play the game. So now that I spent a lot of time covering the notes, let's come over to some videos and let's explain this in the video itself. So I have prepared 3 videos which will be available for you guys at the end of the video for the full game replays. I'll briefly skip through those because we have covered similar builds, but at the same time I want to highlight what is interesting in the high rank gameplays. So let me get some water and let's get started. The first video we're looking at is going to be a high rank king game. So I'm currently king in this game, you can see it over here. And I'm facing king players and also queen players. So before you get to queen, you have to get to king. And after winning a few games on king or after coming first on king, you can become queen depending on the number of queen players. I believe currently there's about 5,000 to 10,000 queen players, and you can see there's queen players with 88 ranking, which is very high. There's queen players with 2,500 ranking, which is a little lower, but this shows that there's a lot of queen players that is ranked in the world. So what I like to do at the very start is how to win is that you want to keep pairs. Any of the melee pairs are very good in early game, especially with the right intro item. So I keep my slug, I brought 2 of the tusk. On the second round, because I have 2 tasks, I want to focus on warriors. So I bought a few more units and I start to check what's available. Depending on the relics and also depending on the units and what I get will determine what build I go for. So round 3, I found a 2-star task, and that means likely I'll go with warriors, especially with Juggernaut. I know this time sometimes I'll sell my units for 10 gold, but here I won't be selling them, but rather I will be keeping as many units as I can for the available 2 stars. Well, I'm going to fast forward a little bit. Now, item selection, very important, tier 2 item. Remember, with a Vanguard is something that helps you to win the early game. I'm going to go for a win streak and I'll definitely go with Vanguard. After that, I'll try to look for Tranquil Boots and also the Buckler. So now the second thing I like to do is I like to level up on round 4, because if you win on round 4, you gain 1 extra gold, which means that you're not losing out on your interest. And having a 2-star task with Vanguard, I know I'm likely going to win. And here I found Tranquil Boots, very good on the task. I couldn't find the Buckler, but that's okay. So here I'm reloading, I didn't find the Buckler. I could keep the Tranquil Boots as well, but I really want the Buckler, but I couldn't find it. So I was like, let me try. Couldn't get it, not a big deal. The task is already unkillable with warrior buffs and also with Vanguard. So we can look around. Now, round 5 is quite important. This is when you determine whether you're going to play a losing streak or win streak. Wait for the units and then decide, because depending on the units, sometimes you find your second 2-star, your first 2-star, then you can go with Rapier. Also check what other players are also picking. If you have the praise, I'm recommending going with Patents, just because losing streak gives you so much more gold. But here, of course, I'm winning, so I'll go with the Warriors and also Rapiers. Now, make sure you always change your neutral items depending on which of your character is the strongest. Here, I'll be giving those to the Axe because he's the tankiest. I want him to soak the most of the damage. Now, because we have had a guide about warriors just before this video, I won't go into details about warriors too much. Rather, we're going to skip forward a little bit, and knowing that I have two of the 2-star units, it's quite powerful. So, the second thing I want to mention is, notice here, this is round 6. On round 6, I see my gold is not going to make it to 20 gold, but rather, I'm going to gain enough gold for 14 gold. It costs 4 gold to level for 4 experience. I know I'm currently 3 out of 8 for my level. So if I level now, I'll be 7 out of 8. Can you see the experience down here with my mouse? So this means next round, upon getting to the round, I'll be level 5. This gives me slightly higher chance in finding purple units. This is quite important to pre-level if you know what you're doing. And because I'm winning, I want to be aggressive. I want to go to level 8 and I want to have high ranking units. See, I found a few of the 3-cost units, but I didn't find any purple units, unfortunately. Usually, players don't go to level 6 before round 10. It just costs too much gold. You want to build up to 40 gold for economy, and that's what I'm doing. Even though I'm playing a win streak, I still want to build up to my 40 gold. And of course, over here, I am constantly checking what other players are playing and also what can counter me and what is concerning. So I'm playing a win streak. I can see this one losing streak player and everybody else is aggressive. I have gotten myself with 3 warriors, 2 orcs and also 2 trolls. And I could go with a savage later on, or the beast, but at the moment, I'm pretty powerful. I'm hoping I don't find other players with 2 of the 2 stars, but most of the time we can win steadily because our build is very stable, especially with Vanguard. So during the neutral round, you kind of want to predetermine what neutral items will help you and then decide what to do else. For me, with winning, I want to find down below. If I don't find down below, I can sell my bench for the magic seed, or I can go with weaponsmith, or I can go with the wolves. Other than that, I don't want the mango tree because I don't want to alternate between win and lose because I want to keep my win streak. I can go with stolen vault. And I don't need to roll for units, so I don't need the dungeon key to ban units. So I already decided what I wanted and what I'm looking for. And of course, I couldn't find what I was looking for. So what do? So if you don't find the right one you're looking for, I actually didn't want the weaponsmith because I don't have much neutral item. I don't want to reroll out of my Vanguard. I don't want to lose my boots. So I haven't decided what to do. And yes, I did go for level 6 to just boost up the build. And once we have 6 warriors, I quickly put on the 6 warriors. 6 warriors is a massive power spike. So if you get to 6 warriors, your units might be much tankier. And finally, of course, like I said, if you're not sure what to do, better not to random, better to get the stolen vault. Stolen vault will give you a lot more gold. And luckily here, we got 19 gold, which is a very big high roll. So 6 warriors, very powerful. And because we talk about warriors, I just want to talk about the crucial parts. Now, we're going to be keep winning for a while because of 6 warriors. On round 15, this is when things becomes important. You will be deciding a build. Well, my throat is definitely not well today. One moment. So if you really want high tier units and also purple and also legendaries, you want to go with Ascendancy. And if you want to roll for 3 stars, you definitely want to go for Greed. And this will make the big difference. Here I'm going for purple warriors like Doom, like the Conquer, and also any of the legendary warriors I can find. We'll talk about that later. So over here, nothing too special. We're just picking items, making sure we're strong, and let's go forward a little bit. I'm skipping this warrior build because we have a guide video on the warriors, so keep that in mind. So once we get to level 20, this is the last timing you can be saving for your income. And after level 20, level 21 is where things get very tricky because this is when players will become super aggressive. Notice that because I have been winning non-stop, I was able to get to level 9 very quickly and then find my 9 warriors. If you're not playing 9 warriors, you still want to be a little stronger for round 21, because this is when players will become aggressive. And you also want to ban the units and also ban the selection of units that will help you give you the greatest chance of finding the units you wanted. And sometimes you can ban something cheap. Here I banned the torrents because they're the cheapest. 1 legendary ban and also 1 purple ban. Sometimes you can ban the more expensive ones. Really depends what units you're looking for. We'll talk about this in each of the build. Now, other than that, we go to the mid game. In the mid game, you want to know your positioning, you want to know the units you're going for, and also the balance. Here, because I have been winning non-stop, I actually decided to roll for 3-star warriors, which is very powerful after I reach level 10. Now, this game in itself is by far one of the best game I've played. Why is that? Because my strategies and also ways of units, I even decided to not take Sven in opting for 3-star Doombringer. Now, with the warriors, if you go with Doom and also Sven, you will lose the demon synergy, and that's not good. So I wanted to keep the demon synergy for the Doom, so he's the only demon on the board. And then stacking warriors, stacking defensive measures like the Lincoln Spear, stacking magic resist on the Doom, means that even against mages, like hunters, mages like this, we can still survive. Let's have a look. So my Doom have 50 armor, and that's a lot of armor. Together with bonus damage, it is very durable. Look at this Doom, it's so powerful. And I'm also picking nuggets to defend against enemies with magic. Nothing too special. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. So what I want to show you guys is how I plan each of the way depending on what enemies are picking. Make sure you check out the actual full replay to see the strategies. And you might be saying, hey Matt, you haven't lost a round. And yes, this is actually quite interesting. I haven't lost any round except now. I warned you guys about picking the neutral monster with double wolves. This is the neutral relic. Here, you're facing a horde of trolls. And guess what? My all-powerful units will actually can't beat the trolls because trolls are OP. Warriors are great, but they're not great against 2 tanks of trolls. And yes, I did lose the trolls over here. And that is the only round I lost is the trolls. Which is quite silly, right? Now, of course I'll go for other games. So here in the ultra late game, I even go for all the 3 stars, all the all the fancy units, and the positioning. You can see I've changed my positioning a little bit, even itemization and everything. You can see in the video how I was able to counter the player. So this video showed us most of the things we talked about previously. And yes, this was actually a perfect game. I haven't had perfect games in a while, especially with high root games. Players are so aggressive. So this is the perfect game that I have 3-star units, have the correct synergy to counter the void, and also I countered the priest because he couldn't mind control my Doom, and that was amazing. So this is a 600 economy game. Look at most other players, they have 200, 300, 400 economy. Here we have 600 economy, and we haven't lost one game. Sometimes you get perfect game like this. So other times, of course, you don't get perfect games. So we have talked about Shamans, and right after I made them my Shaman guide, I played them as a Shaman game. So I want to show you guys in this game. Here I'm purposely losing. So I actually don't have units on the board. I'm purposely losing until round 10, and I put some weak units, prepare for the wolves, having the priest units. I have been losing non-stop. So over here, you can see I've lost 12 runs, and I have Malefic Rapture. This allows me to play a losing streak. Last video, we were playing a win streak. This one, we're playing a losing streak. And of course, having the priest means we have some more tangles. Much needed. And one of the ways I like to play with a losing streak with Shamans is with the 6 Orcs. You have seen the previous video about the 6 Orcs. They are very good, and they will help me survive a long time. And just to show you guys over here, with the losing streak, I was able to slowly crawl my way back from the bottom of the leaderboard to the top of the leaderboard, and thus winning this game and taking me to King. I also showed the full play of this game for you guys in the video as well. And that was the other game. Let's look at one more as example. Now, should you guys want to learn particular build, future videos will cover those. I want to go a little quicker on particular synergies and also combinations. So here I am playing 3 assassins, and then 6 assassins, and then 9 assassins. So there's 2 ways of playing assassins. You can be rolling for your 3-star assassins like Slug, like the Spirit Breaker, like all the 2-cost assassins. But what happens is, sometimes I notice there's other players that is contesting assassins. And if that's the case, or if I just want to level up, it's actually safer for me to push for level 9 to with 9 assassins and stabilize. One of the reasons I like to do this is that even if I don't succeed with 9 assassins, I actually don't lose out too badly. I tend to keep my HP in the mid game. So notice everybody else is losing a lot of HP because everyone's so aggressive. But having an end game synergy like 9 assassins and then finding my units at 2 stars, this actually stabilizes my losses. So sometimes you don't have to come first. Sometimes you just have to come top 4 to make sure you don't lose ranking. But of course, with the right itemization and also combination, I was able to win this game by using 9 assassins with no 3 stars. We'll have a detailed guide on the assassins to teach you guys, but this is very flexible to play the assassins, whether you want to go with rolling or leveling up, especially with the right legendary assassins, this can be super powerful. So, I'll show you guys all 3 games, and out of this game, I was able to achieve Rook. So those are 3 of the pivotal games that took me to Rook, took me to King, and then took me to Queen, using all the strategies I shared with you guys over here. And the replays will be available should you guys want to have a look. And of course, guys, there's tons of replays I still want to share with you guys. If you have a look at the selection, you can see there's so many different replays I haven't had time to share, I haven't had time to explain, including Dragon Mages, including, spirits, including how to fish for pandas, how to roll for hunters, how to roll for knights, how to fish for more pandas, and there's so many testing builds and also guides which are very fun to share. So stay tuned for the latest update. Now, hopefully, you're not too overwhelmed by this video, and what I do now is I'll show you guys the 3 replays I just talked about should you want to look at those step by step of those 3 gameplays, which shows different part of the game, including winning streak, losing streak, and also flexibility of 9 assassins.
The dusk is always ready for a fight.
Sleep, Luke. I am a robot. Yeah, just kidding. Nightcrawler. I run like a clock.
Not mixless.
Dog Reef Rising.
Spirit Breaker. Do not stand straight.
Dog Reef Rises. I'll be waiting.
Dr. Clinker.
is always ready for a fight.
Nightcrawler.
Master of beasts. Master of
Nightcrawler.
At your service.
I am the new Mark II Rattletrap. Just kidding.
There's a price on all their heads.
the brave for you.
Blasting through the forest like it's not even me.
Dr. Clinker.
Siren rises from the deep.
Ice is nice.
For the castle. For the castle.
Enchant?
Changes nothing.
target practice.
Time for I
Faceless War.
Service, Salamene.
At your service.
It's now take.
Dr. Clinker.
Enchanted, I'm sure.
Monster kill. I break like the wind.
My suit should keep me comfortable through all of this.
At your service.
Guns on me.
The monkey.
Well, blow me down. I thank you. Spirit Breaker.
The captain.
King of the desert.
The Honorable Dante Panda at your service.
Time for some roleplay.
A bit of style. What is their teaming? There are none.
King of the desert. It's good to be king. We leave the nest.
My thanks. The Veiled Sisters sent me. The Veiled Sisters sent me.
Don't blink when you listen.
King of the desert.
Elder Titan, behold the horn of Magnus.
potion.
Thanks. Thanks.
With bones and spells I come. Nightcrawler. When dark grief rises, I'll be waiting. There's a price on all your heads. I'm rich. Battle's front!
Guess we better.
Dragonas! At your service.
Time for target practice. What's this?
There's a price
Some
on
kind of
all
fight?
their heads.
Time for target practice.
face.
Deadly nightshade. Aren't they just the cutest?
Juggernaut stands ready.
With bones and spells I come.
Strangler vines. Deadly nightshade. Aren't they just the cutest?
A wolf in man's clothing.
Behold my beauty.
you play with Lena, you tend to get burned.
I ride with the light.
Damnation rises.
Flayed twins. I seek blood. to shove off. This one's on me. Yes, lad! We've reached safe harbor!
Your god has a... Axe or fist! It changes nothing!
Time to shove off.
My faithful join me.
Juggernaut stands ready. Shake.
For the flayed twins, I seek blood. My blood runs strong.
From my shadow guide, I bear a
Time for some role play.
my spirit.
Dramatic entrance
They'll never find
by the impure powers of
There are
nature.
none who cannot be mimicked.
My faithful join me.
Join me.
My spirit.
Flayed twins. I seek blood.
Damnation rises. The ultimate entrolling.
Dex, are you ready for shenanigans? Time to take what I want.
More power to you.
The time has come for me.
The Stormcrafter comes. Thanks.
The time has come
Do not
for
stand.
me.
Feel the earth shake.
shenanigans.
Or fists! It changes nothing!
My spirit returns to flesh.
ready. The dusk is always ready for a fight.
Axe or fists, it changes nothing.
I don't miss. Enchanted, I'm sure. Are you ready for shenanigans?
Walrus punch.
Juggernaut stands ready.
The dusk is all. Ah, yes.
Is the price on all
Or fists, it changes nothing.
Bleep, Luke, I am a robot. Yeah, just kidding.
Axe grows stronger. Axe says thank you.
Stick through the monsters.
From the deeps, I rise. I ride with the light.
service.
shove off.
At your service.
Time for some roll.
We leave the nest. From the deeps, I rise. Bradwood. Bradwood. Tusker! The wolf. Of the sacrifice. feasts. The dusk is. The dusk.
Juggernaut stands.
Damnation. Bradwood.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
Damnation rises.
love off.
The dusk is...
A wolf in man's clothing.
The dusk is always ready for a fight.
Do not stand.